I wanted to get my preseason picks in before the season kicks off on Sunday. This was supposed to have more analysis with team breakdowns, but I waited way too long to get started, so we're just going to go division by division and deal with the postseason when it comes. We're going to start in the AFC East with the fourth place team, the New England Patriots. The Patriots are not that bad, and they have improved from last year. A team with Bill Belichick will never be truly awful, but a team with Mac Jones as is will never be truly great. They are a mediocre team in a stacked division, which will get you fourth place. In third place, I have the Miami Dolphins. I want to put the Dolphins in first place, I really do. However, the question marks surrounding the team are too present, especially when it comes to their quarterback situation. If Tua can stay healthy, they can be one of the best offenses in the league, but I'm indifferent on the defense, and again, in a loaded division, it's the little question marks that concern me. I do have the Dolphins in third place. In second place, we have the Buffalo Bills. There's going to be some organizations that I'm talking about on this list where I'm just feeling like there's something off about them, and Buffalo is one of them. While they're mostly returning the same key guys, there's something really off about the Diggs situation that has me hesitant to think that they're going to continue to dominate the division. We'll see if Josh Allen can improve with that drama to manage, and the rest of the roster doesn't appear to be getting any younger or better. I do feel that their window is closing, and the number one team is on the rise, which is the New York Jets. The New York Jets, not much to say here. You have an elite defense with elite young players on both sides of the ball, and you have a new Hall of Fame quarterback, you're probably going to get first place in the division. I don't think Aaron Rodgers needs to be anything more than mediocre for the Jets to be successful, projecting a lot of leaps for the young players. But when you add the talent that the Jets added after having a pretty decent season last year, I do think the Jets will win the division. The next division we'll talk about is the AFC South. We're going to start off with the Cleveland Browns. This is another division with a lot of uncertainty. You don't know if Deshaun Watson will return to form. Will Elijah Moore resemble year one or year two? How good is the coach? Will Nick Chubb hit the running back wall? If everything goes really well, the Browns can be a pretty good team. If everything goes poorly, they will be awful. What is more than likely is that there is some good and some bad, and they're average in a good division, which, like the Patriots, um, probably might get you good enough for third place, but will most likely keep you in fourth. In third, we have the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens also have some uncertainty, but the talent is there. The real question with the Ravens, as opposed to the Browns, is not are they good enough, but will they be able to sustain injuries? We don't know if Lamar, Odell, Bateman, or Dobbins can stay healthy. If the answer is yes, the Ravens may be closer to second place than fourth place, but we really can't rely on all of that happening and expect for Zay Flowers to actually be able to play. The defense will keep them competitive, but I anticipate another roller coaster season for the Ravens and a third place finish. In second place, I have the Bengals. Most people like the Bengals to win the division. However, again, another organization that I feel just weird going into the season. I do think the Joe Burrow injury is something that will not matter when winning games really matters, but it is there currently. I do find it weird that he doesn't have a contract extension. I don't think any of us think Higgins is going to be getting one, and we don't think Higgins is going to be staying there. You got to wonder how bought in he is. Mixon is great, but can very well hit a wall this year with his age. Or he might get hurt going into, I do believe this is a contract year for him. I'm just not sure that the Bengals are rising, and I'm not sure that they are definitely getting better, which I do feel about the first place team in this division, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers. We could start with the fact that Tomlin is the coach, so you could already book him in for 9 wins. Add to that, the defense will be improved with the return of a Hall of Famer. Their offensive playmakers are all young, and I do expect them to improve. Najee Harris should be better. He's no longer dealing with an injury like last year. And even if he's not, even if Najee is washed, it does look like they have a replacement ready for him. They won 9 games last year, starting a rookie in Mitch Trubisky. I do expect to see improvement out of everybody on that team, and I do think that they will win the division. Moving from great divisions to a terrible one, let's go to the AFC South, where I have the Colts finishing fourth. I do believe in organizational cohesion, and I do not believe that the Colts have it. Whether it's a Saturday hire or the Taylor extension slash trade deadline, this organization really appears to have no idea what it's doing. And when you throw in a raw rookie who none of us think is like that talented as a passer, as is. You're going to throw that rookie into the starting role week one, into an organization that's completely dysfunctional, and you're going to take away his best weapon. This feels like a guarantee for a last place finish for the Colts. In third, I have the Houston Texans, who are not much better. There's not much to say here. They can easily finish last, but they at least appear to have a direction as opposed to the Colts. They have young playmakers, and their star running back will actually be available. The division is really bad. They would be in fourth place in most other divisions, but in this division, luckily for them, the Colts are there. I have them in third. In second place, almost by default, I have the Titans. I do have massive respect for their coach, but not as much for their quarterback. They did add talent around Ryan Tannehill, but that talent does have question marks. Right now, Burks is dealing with an injury. Hopkins is getting older, and we don't know if the young quarterback can play. The division is really, really bad, and with Vrabel as the coach, they should be better than the other two teams, but I can't put them over the number one team, which is the Jacksonville Jaguars. They got the coach with the ring. They got the number one pick at quarterback. They gave him a number one wide receiver. They brought back his tight end, and they improved the running back room. I think ETN and Bigsby is going to be what we thought ETN and Robinson was going to be. With the division being so bad, it would almost be a failure if the Jags didn't win. Now to close out the AFC, we're going to move to the AFC West, where I have the Raiders in fourth place. I don't believe in the head coach, and I'm not sure who will still be there after the trade deadline. Losing Derek Carr was definitely a mistake in my eyes. Jimmy G is not an upgrade. Maybe they'll finish third if Russ is truly cooked, but I don't believe that, so I have them here at fourth. Spoiler alert, that means that in third place, I have the Denver Broncos. The injury bug has already bitten Denver a little bit. The organization, I do feel weird about it. The Sean Payton, Nat Hackett situation, I don't know why that was necessary. I think we could all agree that it was a little bit weird. And if that's what you have to do to save Russell Wilson's confidence, um, that's not a great sign. However, for some reason, I just can't believe that someone who is considered a Hall of Famer is just that bad. I do think that Sean Payton being there will right the ship, but I also believe that that will take more than one season, which is why I have the Broncos in third place. In second place, I do have the Los Angeles Chargers. I think they are ridiculously loaded with talent, but their coach is unproven, and they always find a way to mess it up. They're adding Dallas's offensive coordinator. I think that will take Herbert and the offense to even another level. But unfortunately, they're in the same division with the defending champs, who I do have at number one. And the Chargers, unfortunately, never seem to have home games. However, at number one in the division, I had the Kansas City Chiefs. Um, I just got to see it happen before I pick against them. They won the Super Bowl with Mahomes and no real number one receiver. I do think that losing Bieniemy hurts, but it's not insurmountable. I think losing Chris Jones for a little bit hurts, but it's not insurmountable. Um, I think having a young receiving core and having no receiving core are two different things. And as long as Andy, Pat, and Kelsey are healthy, I got to see regression before I actively pick against them. I'm just not doing it. Moving to the NFC now, and we're going to start with the NFC East. It really brings me no pleasure as a Giants fan, but I have to put them at fourth. Last year, we felt like an overachieving team. I never fully believed in them, no matter how much we won, until we went against the Eagles, and I was like, "Oh, maybe we beat the Vikings, maybe," and then we got smoked. For all of our success, we only finished third in the division last year. I don't feel we've gotten much better on paper. I did want Saquon to get paid. However, I didn't want us to be the team that paid him. I just can't trust that he or our number one receiver in Waller can stay healthy for all 17 games. I have to hope our quarterback is even pedestrian, even though we just paid him like he proved it. Our coach will keep us competitive. We will be a competitive team, but I do think we take a step back this season after not adding much talent on the offensive side. In third place, I have the Washington Commanders. For some reason, I really believe in Sam Howell. I don't know why, but I think he could play and he'll have the opportunity to prove me right or wrong this season. All the other pieces are in place, though. They have really good receivers. They have a solid running game. They have a tough defense. While Rivera is starting to concern me with the way that he's acting, he seems a little sporadic. I do like the overall direction of the franchise. But it is a very good division, so I have to have Washington at 3. At 2, I have the Eagles. I don't believe they got better. I think last year Lady Luck was on their side a little bit, and I think that they have clearly gotten a little bit older, but they're still very talented, and they have Hurts at QB. Losing Sanders is going to hurt them in the run game, but they should still make it to the playoffs, and I have them at number 2 in the division, which means at number 1, I have the Dallas Cowboys, and the formula for them is very simple. They won 12 games last year, even though Dak got hurt for 4 of them or 3 of them. I forgot how many he got hurt for. Point was, their starting quarterback missed time and they won 12 games. That's impressive. I do think they have the best defense in the NFL. They have playmakers all over the field on both sides. This is the perfect opportunity for Dak to manage the game and let everyone else do their thing. I think he can do that. I think the Cowboys may be my preseason pick to make it to the Super Bowl, as much as I hate to admit it. I am really high on the Cowboys. Now we're going to go to the NFC North, where I have the Minnesota Vikings finishing in last place. This is a real first to worst story. I think the Vikings are about to fall off a cliff. First, they won so many close games last year, it's almost ridiculous and unheard of. They had the largest comeback in NFL history, and while you don't want to knock a team for winning close games and coming back from deficits, you can't believe that that's just going to repeat itself. You have a quarterback in Kirk Cousins who is beloved. I've been watching quarterback like everyone else. We love Kirk Cousins. However, we do know that he is limited. And when you take talent away from that guy and you don't replace it, that's kind of a recipe for disaster. I have the Vikings in last place in their division. At the 3 spot, I have the Chicago Bears. I think the Bears have done all that they can for Fields. They are planning around his skill set. They got him all the weapons. It really comes down to I have to see it now. The offense will have to carry the unit. And while I think they're improved, I don't believe that they are elite. Third place feels right for the Bears. In second place, I have the Green Bay Packers. Again, young talent does not equal no talent. We know the run game is good. I think Love is going to be a lot better than we're giving him credit for. And his young receivers did show glimpses last year when they got on the same page with Aaron Rodgers, who, granted, is a much more accomplished quarterback, but they should be taking a year two leap. They proved to me enough last year. They should be a fun team to watch, and I do have them finishing second in their division, which leaves the Detroit Lions for the top spot almost by default. They appear to have the least amount of instability within the division, which is crazy to say about the Detroit Lions. I don't know if they've ever heard that ever. They know who their quarterback is. They have a great receiver for him. They retooled at the running back. They have a great offensive line. I do expect the defense to improve a little bit. And they were just outside the playoffs as they were last year. So I do expect this to be the year that the Lions step forward and take a playoff spot and take the division for the NFC North. Moving to the NFC South, this is not a very good division. I have the Tampa Bay Bucks in fourth. My girlfriend is going to be mad at me, but I'm being a realist. I have my Giants in last. I have her Bucks in last. Tampa was hard to watch last year while they had the GOAT at quarterback. Now you throw in Baker Mayfield with less talent around him, and it's easy to feel like the Bucks are in for a terrible year. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are already being spoken about as trade deadline candidates. There may be a fire sale at the deadline. I don't think the Bucks are that talented as is. I have them in last place. I do have the Falcons in third place. They can easily get second place since they have talent all over the offensive side of the ball, but it really comes down to the quarterback for me. I don't know if Ritter can play, and until he proves he can even a little bit, none of those other positions matter except for running back. We've seen Pitts and London be neutralized by bad quarterback play. If Ritter is good, they will finish second in the division. If not, and I don't know that he is, they will finish in third. The team that they could flip flop with is the Panthers. While I like the Falcons' offensive weapons better, I like the overall team and the quarterback of the Panthers better. They do have veterans around Young and Sanders and Thielen, who I think will help him grow and will help him adjust to the NFL fine. Um, the truth of the matter is, because as I'm looking at it, I'm seeing the Panthers in second place. The truth of it is the division is really bad. And for no other reason other than that, I do have them in second place in the division. In first place, I think without question, it's the Saints. They almost won the division last year with terrible quarterback play and almost no weapons, or I'll say inconsistent weapons. Their best weapon was a rookie wide receiver who everyone is expecting to take a giant leap. Now you bring in a legit and underrated franchise quarterback with a chip on his shoulder, and you give him weapons everywhere. A little bit of organizational stability compared to the Raiders in a way worse division than he was in before. So I'm looking at Derek Carr and I'm saying this guy is truly a dark horse MVP candidate. I'm very high on him, and I'm very high on the New Orleans Saints. So now, last but not least, I'm looking at the NFC West, and in last place, I'm putting down the Arizona Cardinals, and there is no argument. We don't know who the quarterback is, who is their best wide receiver. We know who he is, but is he a number one? No. How old is their running back? Who's on this defense? This roster just does not have it this year. They are in contention for the number one pick in the draft. Let's not waste any more time. In third, we have the LA Rams. There's a lot of questions about the Rams too, but we can't deny the talent that is actually there. I don't know how much Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald and Matthew Stafford are going to play, but I do know that those three guys are on the roster, and the Cardinals can't say that. So I have the Rams here in third place. In second place, I have the Seattle Seahawks. They were definitely a feel good story last year and one with young talent, which means they should be improving. The question now, though, is can they do it as the hunted? They're not sneaking up on anybody anymore. Will Geno Smith be able to improve or at least maintain now that teams know not to sleep on them? They should be a playoff team. I expect them to answer the bell. That is why I have them at number two, which means at number one in the NFC West, I have the San Francisco 49ers. I can talk all I want about the weird energy that's coming off of this team with the whole Jimmy G statement and the Trey Lance situation. Um, you can't argue the talent, and you can't argue the success. If Purdy doesn't get hurt last year, they may have won the Super Bowl. I would have picked them to win the Super Bowl, but he's back. And I do believe in him, and I do believe that the 49ers are the best team in the NFC West. Let me know what you think about the picks. Go down to the comments and please subscribe if you would like more sports thoughts, some new music from myself, and or movie reviews.